Welcome to the Lowdown on Ghana Web TV. This is your most informative socio-political program that gives you all the facts and updates on issues that matter to you. My name is Nii Akwei Ismail Akwei. In this edition, we are going to discuss unemployment. The unemployment problem in Ghana brought about Nabco, which is a nation builders corps. And Nabco was supposed to give employment or some temporary jobs to unemployed graduates in the country. However, we have a lot of issues coming out of the Nabco crisis, and we're going to speak to some people who have experienced the issues that are surrounding Nabco, that's a nation builders corps. We'll talk more on this with our guests after this break. Welcome back from the break. This is the Lowdown, and our guest is Ishmael Batoma. So Ishmael is or was a member of the Nation Builders Corps. He worked with their project for some years. Welcome, Ishmael.
Okay, thank you, sir.
How long have you been a member of the Nation Builders Corps?
I think over 2 years.
Over 2 years?
Yes, please.
And how did it start?
It started in the application process started in early 2018. So it was an online application.
Were you one of the first batch of graduates?
Yes, I was the first
part
batch
of the corps.
Yes,
okay.
I was the first batch. Okay. And I think aside our batch, there hasn't been any recruitment. I don't know, but we were the first batch. So we started the application process in early 2018. Then we got calls for interviews at the various district assemblies. Then we went for the interviews. After the interviews, then we were placed. Those who qualified, we went for an engagement process where we were introduced to the program and were educated a bit about the objectives of the program, what the program is to do. Then a few months later, as at 2018 October, the placement started. So some trainees got their placement at various institutions, both private and government. But I got my placement in June 2019 at a government institution.
Okay, so let's go through your process.
Yes,
2018, what was going on in your life? What was happening?
2018.
Before you even applied to be a member of the Nation Builders Corps?
2018, I think I was teaching. I was teaching basically at some schools.
A private school?
Private school, yes. Yes, so that was what I was doing in 2018. But before going to the teaching, I was working for a firm, then I lost my job. So I was teaching and then we had this opportunity. So I was just trying my luck.
So you were not a member of the Unemployed Graduates Association, which is popular now?
No.
Okay. So you were employed, but you wanted a better opportunity? Yes,
and not opportunity in terms of money, but an opportunity to learn, to maybe a platform to maybe get a bigger opportunity. That's my objective. That was my objective for joining the program.
So you quit the teaching job and you applied for the program?
Yes, please.
And when you applied, where did you go next after you applied?
After the online application, those who qualified, who had the document, to apply, you must have completed your national service. You must either be a graduate, university graduate, or at polytechnic graduate.
And you are a university graduate?
Yes, please.
Which university, please?
I went to University of Cape Coast.
Okay.
Yes, and I studied economics.
Economics?
Yes, please. So after the application process, those who qualified were our names. We got messages that we've qualified, and you had to choose a district, any of the district assemblies. So those in Accra, we had the option of either Ablekuma Central, Ablekuma West, or Accra Metropolitan Assembly. So, but I wanted to, even in the application process, you had to choose the district you want to be placed. I chose Ablekuma Central, but I couldn't get the opportunity to be interviewed there because the slots were full. So I was forced to choose Ablekuma West.
And how was the interview like?
Oh, the interview was, it was good. For me, I went without any expectation because I know with this kind of government things, but I think it was fair. They asked the right questions. They inspected the document to check if you are really the person who is coming.
Were there a lot of people there?
Um, it was done on bookings.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Okay. So if you are if it's your day to come, then you go. But when I went, there weren't so many people, and I think there were people for morning and afternoon. I went in the afternoon, I think. So when I went there wasn't any queue there.
So okay. You are talking about 2018 now, but you started work in June 2019, as you said earlier.
Yes, please.
Why the long delay?
I think it was as a result of the placement.
You couldn't get placement?
Yeah, we are not responsible for the. I think the bosses, the authorities are responsible for placing. But even without the placement, we are still receiving our allowances.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
And were you aware of the stipend before you joined the program?
Yes, yes, yes. It was clear.
How much is that?
It was 700 cedis. Yes. So if you take the transaction charges, it will be 699.
So you are paid through mobile money?
No.
Okay.
You are paid through eSwitch.
eSwitch?
Yes, please.
Okay. So before you joined the program, your teaching job, was it paying more or less than what you were getting as stipend?
It was paying less.
Less?
Paying less.
Okay. So it was, a good
yes.
deal to join the Nabco?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay.
But,
yes.
But with the teaching, I was also doing teaching home and stuff. So
okay.
I had a chance to get more money. But just that Nabco, you have to go into work, and the income was fixed. Yes.
Okay. Yes. So 2019 June, you were called.
Yes.
What was the feeling like at the time?
Actually, before I was called, I was doing the national identification registration, mass registration at my constituency. So I was lucky. So the registration, I think it was for about a month. So I was doing the registration and I got my placement notice. So as I ended the registration, then I got my placement, and then even on the day I was supposed to report, I had to go to work at with the NIA. So I asked for permission, and then I went to submit my document, and I came back. So basically, it was okay.
It was okay.
Yes.
And when you started the work, was it exactly what you were expecting? And was the government institution welcoming as you expected?
Like I mentioned earlier, I did economics. So when I went, my hope was to be maybe the research department of where I was, but I was taken to a newsroom. Yes, so it was very new for me, and for me, I was willing to learn. I was just willing to learn. So fortunately, I met a very good person who was. Initially, she wasn't so sure. She said, this person did economics, and you're bringing him to the newsroom. Can you? And I told him, and she just spoke to me and asked me about experiences I have. Oh, and she said, oh, so you're an all-round person, so you can do it. And I said, yes, I'll try. And that was the beginning.
So were you introduced as a Nation Builders Corps?
Yes.
I mean, a member of the Corps?
Yes.
You were. And you started work immediately?
Yes.
So what was the orientation process at the place? Was there an orientation where you told there's no way you could get a job, permanent job at the place? Did you know that? Were you ready for it?
The orientation, they did orientation for both the Nabco and NSS personnel, but there was no mention of permanency or they didn't promise any. Like the department, they didn't promise anything because they couldn't. Because normally for government institution, I think it's Office of the Head of Civil Service that does the recruitment. Yes, but we had the expectation that if you work hard enough, and there are places your bosses can recommend you. Yes.
So how many people on the program were with you in your department?
Yes, in my department, let's say for those in for the newsroom, I was the only Nabco trainee. In fact, one person was brought, but he said he did computer science or something. So he said he wasn't being.
So he declined because of
I don't think he declined. He left, but I don't know where he was posted to.
Okay.
Later. Yes.
So there was an option to get a reposting or replacement.
There was an option to get a replacement, but once you have been posted to, so we were posted to the ministry, then the ministry will post you to any of its agencies.
Okay.
So you can go back and they'll repost you. The ministry will do that, not the Nation Builders Corps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the number of people you had who were trainees of Nabco, were you an association in the government institution you were, or you were independently working?
Let's say we knew ourselves. We had a platform, but we were not an association per se. But we interacted well, especially for I think 6 of us we were working closely. We are different units of the department, so we knew each other well. And then there were some that were doing some work that was run on a shift basis, but so then we didn't see them often. But for us, we knew each other, but we were not necessarily an association, even though we interacted.
So at what point did the problem started? And now the problem that the Nabco trainees are bringing up is delay in the payment of their stipend. That's one.
Yes.
The second one is also they not knowing their fate, because they were promised that there will be a way out after the Nabco program ends.
Yes.
So when did the problem actually start?
Oh, when it comes to payment, it started from the beginning.
From the beginning?
From the beginning.
You were getting it before you even started working?
Yes. After we started the work, then in fact, when I started work for 5 months, I wasn't paid.
For 5 months?
5 months.
That from June 2019 to around September?
Yes, I wasn't paid for the first...
November, I mean.
First 5 months of... So the payment, I think that was one of the key issues most trainees has. But for some of us, because of the work we were doing, we were able to get some money to support ourselves to go. But those who were not in offices that they can get some income, they were really finding it difficult to go to work. Yeah.
We'll talk about the difficulty right after this break. This is the Lowdown. Stay with us.
Okay.
Welcome back from the break. This is the Lowdown. My name is Nii Akwei Ismail Akwei. We are talking about the unemployment crisis in Ghana, specifically with the Nation Builders Corps. That's a program which was initiated by the government in 2018 to employ temporarily graduates who need jobs. Our guest is Ishmael Batoma. He just ended the Nation Builders Corps training, or the program, and he's here to tell us some of the challenges they've gone through. So Ishmael, you're telling us about how payment delayed right from the start, and people were finding it difficult to make ends meet. So what was the situation like? What response were you given? What did you do as a group?
As a group, we had a Nabco platform where the coordinators. So the structure of the Nabco program is that every district has a coordinator. So she is the one who liaises with the head office. So basically, our payment process is you sign a timesheet for the month, then your name, then your working hours, then your supervisor will sign, then you take it to the coordinator. So we are going there, as we submit the timesheet, we'll be telling them, you haven't been paid for this number of months. They'll say, oh, the money will come, the money will come. So basically, that's what they were saying. They didn't give any...
So the coordinator gives you that response, that the money will come?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. And you didn't hear anything else from anyone but the coordinator?
No. She was the one we were relying on for
So
information.
for 5 months, June, July, August, September, October,
Yes.
there was no money coming in.
There was no money coming in.
And how did you survive?
So for me, like I said, I was working in the newsroom, and my boss was really a good person. So I didn't go on a lot of assignments, and you know the newsroom, if you go for assignments, you do get some monies, and she also supported me sometimes to be able to come to work. So basically, that's how I was able to support myself.
So Solly was helpful?
Solly was helpful, yes.
Okay. And what about the others you were on the platform with who didn't have this kind of support?
Yeah.
What were they doing about it?
Yeah, it was really, because I know trainees who were not coming to work. And
They stopped coming to work?
They stopped coming to work. They stopped coming to work for a number of months. And even with the initial payment delay, it wasn't just that. Even after they've paid the money, the money does not come on time. Sometimes for 2 months it won't come, sometimes for 3 months. So for those periods, some people don't come to work. They'll just be home, and then when they get the money, they'll start coming. So basically, that was it.
So the first 5 months that you were not paid, when you were paid, so you were paid after 5 months?
I wasn't paid, or I think the money for 3 months came. Then later on.
So in October, the money for 3 months came. So
yes,
there was still a backlog they were supposed to clear.
Yes.
And then later, how many months after? And then the others?
I don't recall the number of months, but the 2 months came. Then the pay started coming. But for our pay, we are not paid at the end of the month. Let's say if your pay for January will come somewhere around between February 15th to 20th. It doesn't come at the end of the month. There's always a delay in the payment.
So those who don't go to work because they were not receiving their stipends, did the government agency they were working with do anything about it? Did they, take any sanctions on them?
I think mostly the bosses were even sad for them that they are not getting money. So most of the bosses, they couldn't report them or anything, but because it's not their fault, because without the money you can't come to work.
And were they given the monies for the period they didn't go to work?
Oh yes. Once the time sheet has been signed there, and you upload it on the platform, and the coordinator has signed, you'll be paid your money.
Okay, so the coordinator has to sign to prove that you went to work.
Yes, please.
So if you didn't go to work, they won't sign.
They won't sign.
But how were you paid before you even started in June 2019?
By that time, we didn't even know the modalities for maybe submitting timesheets. We didn't know all those stuff.
But the money was still coming?
The money was coming, yes.
It means even if you didn't sign while you were working, the money will still come?
Yes, but as at that time, other trainees have started working. So I presume that's why they were paying all of us, because it was no fault of ours, because it was because we hadn't gotten our placement yet. That's why we were home. But we were being paid as trainees. Yes.
So in 2020, what was your decision? Did you want to stay and continue working? Because for the program, it's 2 years. Yeah. So from 2018, you were supposed to work till 2020.
Yes.
However, you started in 2019. Does that mean we were supposed to work till 2021?
No. We were all supposed to
end in 2020.
Our contract was to expire in October 2020. October 2020. That's when our contract was supposed to expire. Yes.
And what happened in October 2020? In
October 2020, because of the agitations and worries, the government extended the contract by 1 month. Yes. So, but for me, where I was working at, I was part of a project. So for me, I was going to be there were indications I was going to be retained. So I was part of the project. So for me, I wasn't so much worried. Yes, because I've been assured that I'll be replaced, but they were just working, and the department offered to be paying me till I'm formalized. Yes.
But your other colleagues, were they also expecting to be retained?
Yes, I would say yes, because like I said, for 6 of us, we're playing important roles in the department, and normally we'll be there and then we'll be told to bring a document, and then so people were expecting that they'll be retained, but unfortunately, I think only one of our colleagues was retained. I think there was an opportunity, and then they said the opportunity was for only polytechnic students.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was a polytechnic student, so fortunately he got retained. Yes, but for the degree student, aside myself, who had the assurance that I'll be retained? The rest, I don't know. I don't know their stance.
So for clarity, in November, after the 1 month extension,
yes.
Besides you who were given some assurances,
Yes.
everybody else, every Nabco trainee left their post.
Even because we were not being paid, I think there were some arrears from November, 2 months arrears. So because of the arrears, people were not even coming to work already.
Okay.
So they weren't coming to work, and then the issue of the program coming to an end came into being. So most trainees were already not coming to work.
Okay.
As at November.
Yeah. And then in 2021, you spent another, 6 or 9 months at post. You personally, were you paid by the authority, or you were paid by the agency or the government institution that kept you?
Please, I think we've made a mistake. So let's. And the program was supposed to end in 2020. We are in 2022, right?
Yes.
It's supposed to end in 2021.
So from 2019 to 2021.
Yeah. So we started in August, October, August, 2018. So 18, 19, 20, 18. Then 19. So it's originally supposed to end in November, October 2021, not
okay.
2020.
So officially it started in 2019?
No.
Because if it started in 2018, 2 years will be 2020.
Yes. The program is for 3 years.
Oh, it's for 3 years?
Yes, it's for 3 years, not 2 years.
Okay. Thank you for the clarity. So it's for 3 years. So
yes,
it means it's supposed to end around October 2021.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes,
so you were still working in 2021.
Yes.
And you were getting your stipends from the Nabco authorities.
Yes, please.
Till October.
Yes,
so in October you were asked to stay.
Yes, please.
Okay. And you stayed. And what happened then?
By then, there was a project we were doing, so we had to go to other agencies for training. So I went for the trainings, but after the trainings, that's where I left. I left where I was.
Okay.
So basically that was it.
But why did you leave?
Oh, I left because I compared the place I was to go to, and upon advice of certain people, and that place is also a media organizations, like what I was doing, and I was informed to give me greater exposure.
So were you made an offer at the government institution?
Yes, I was made an offer. First, the department head sat myself and another colleague down, yes, and she said the department will be paying us. So,
okay.
Yes.
But not officially from government payroll. So you are not going to be government
no, not
employees.
officially from. No, not officially.
Okay.
I'm sure it will be from the
project.
IGF of the institution. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. And then, how many months arrears was Nabco owing you?
2.
2 months.
2 months. Just 2 months to the program end, if I remember.
Others had complained about 9 months of not being paid.
Yes. For the program, some people were not being paid. Some people had a lot of arrears, but the authorities explained that it was because of the document they were presenting. There were mistakes on the forms they submit and stuff, and issues with their A-switch card. That's where sometimes payment delay. Yeah, but for myself, I think as at the time I was leaving, I was owed only 2 months.
Okay.
2 months, yeah.
So it's case by case basis.
It's case by
Some
case.
were
Exactly.
longer, others were shorter.
Yes,
But
exactly.
in all, people were being owed.
Yes, please. Yes,
Okay.
please. So generally, at least everybody is being owed for 2 months. As at now, every Nabco trainee is being owed money 2 months. Is a monthly allowance. Yes.
Do you regret joining the Nabco program?
Oh, I don't regret at all. I don't regret at all. For me, through the Nabco program, I've gotten another skill. I learned how to write news and stuff. So for me, it has been a good adventure. Let me say, I enjoyed it. I've learned a lot. But the issues that came up with payment and then some of the processes didn't help at all. Yeah.
And what are you going to do about your 2 months stipend that's with the government?
The last time I heard, they are going to pay. we had someone saying that the coordinator has assured that they'll pay in February. But for the assurances, we've heard it several times. But we are not sure. Yes. But they said they are going to pay. And then they've promised that. I've heard them saying that people should keep going to work, but I don't know how someone can be going to work without pay. And that as opportunities come, they'll rope them in. So basically that's it. Yeah.
I'll come back to you after this break, so you tell us how your colleagues are faring, those who were not lucky like you to have a job after the program, after 3 years. We'll be right back after this break. This is the Lowdown. Welcome back from the break. This is the Lowdown. My name is Nii Akwei Ismail Akwei. We are discussing unemployment in Ghana and also the Nabco, Nation Builders Core Program, which is owing a lot of the trainees 2 months, some 9 months stipend arrears, and a lot of them are not happy. A lot of them are still unemployed, and the program was put together to get graduates who are unemployed some work. Our guest is Ishmael Batoma. He just ended the program and he's employed now, but he's telling us the situations, the problems, and the issues they faced as Nabco trainees. So Ishmael, you were talking about how you were lucky, you got a job, you left the post, and others are told to continue working. They don't have money, they can't continue. What are they going through right now?
So basically, the trainees that I was working with at where I was, most of them, all of them don't go to work. So I think they've forgotten about the whole Nabco thing. They are not really hoping to get anything from it. So basically that's it. But most of the trainees, aside those who were at where I was working, basically they some of them say they borrowed money to go to work, and for 9 months they haven't been paid and stuff. So they have to get money to pay the people they borrowed from. So that's one big issue for some of the trainees, how to pay back the money they've borrowed to be able to go to work. That's a key challenge they would like to address.
Do you think they would also, or they may regret joining the program?
It depends. If you are able to get money to go always like I did, you're able to get support to be going, then you can learn a new skill, and it depends on where you are placed. If you are placed as a place where you know there isn't much to do, or you don't have a boss that trusts you to give you works to do, then you can't learn. So basically the program was to give graduates experience so that they'll become more employable. So that was one of the key things we were mentioning. It was later that they were bringing this employment thing inside. I don't know whether it was because of political gains or stuff, but basically, initially when we started, the focus of the program is to make graduates more employable, to give you
experience and
working
hands-on
experiences.
knowledge.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So that was the objective of the program. But if the pay is not coming on time and I'm not able to go to work, then it will ruin the purpose of the program, because you can't go to work, so you can't learn. And if the bosses can't depend on you because you are always absent, then some of them they'll forget about you. I know trainees who sometimes their boss forget they work at the department.
Oh, okay. So they are like ghosts in the department. They are just there.
I know, something like that. So once in a while you see them, they say, "Hey, you've come to work today." Yes. So with such people, I don't think they really learned much, or they got the benefits or the intended objectives of the program. I don't think
So what would you wish could have been improved with the program?
First of all, the payment. I think the program was a planned program, and you hear the minister giving allocations in the budget, and you'll be mentioning Nabco. So the payment was really an issue. Yes, it was. So if there's a scheme, another scheme like that, they should make sure that even national service personnel were receiving their is it stipend or the allowances on time. But you'll be there, and then the national service people will be saying they've received their money. But you, the Nabco trainee, you'll be there, and there's nothing. So what they can work on, if they are to extend the program, or they are bringing another employment initiative to resolve the unemployment issue, they should really work on payment. And also on the amount. Yes, on the amount. I was fortunate, where I was working wasn't so far from my house, so I can board this one car, but people were working at places that were very far, even though the authority tried to place people close to their houses, but it didn't work. Some were working at very far places, and then the stipend was not enough. 700 cedis alone, even I that was living close, the money wasn't that much. So
what was your cost in terms of transportation from home to your office where you were working?
Basically, a day would be. It depends on the mode of transport I want to. Sometimes I can walk to Carnation, or I can board car to Carnation. So basically, a day will be between 5 to 6 days.
So let's say 6 cedis a day, and you work 5 days a week.
Yes.
So a month will be
30 cedis.
30 cedis.
Yes. And then for 4 months, 30
cedis a week.
30 cedis a week.
A week, yes.
By the 4 months.
That would be 120 cedis.
120 cedis, yes.
And you'd have to eat from the same stipend.
Yes.
You get your lunch from the stipend.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, you can't save.
Of savings, the savings is out.
Because it's a stipend, so it's not for saving anyway.
Yes.
It's for you to be able to go back and forth.
For someone who was close to where I was working. So for those who were living far, if someone is living at Kaswa and he has to come to work at Central Accra, the person spends a lot, and the money.
It can't cover transportation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So basically, that's one of the things I want them to work on. And then the second thing is the process of submission of our monthly evaluation forms. They came up with an app, and the app was working. We had normally, if you get to work, you clock in. If you close, but they stopped using it. I don't know why they stopped using it. And you always have to. Then we started filling the forms. You have to fill the form and take it to the district office. And I think with this era of digitization, there's no need for us to be doing that.
So it started with the digital way, with an app.
Yes, with an app.
And then later you're all told to do it manually by going to the district office.
Yes.
And which days do you go? Weekends or during work?
No, during work.
During work, you leave work and then submit the assessment form.
Yes. So okay. Sometimes the coordinator will say that she wants to see everybody. She wants to see you before she sign your form. Or there are people working, they don't want to see you in person before they sign. But sometimes the forms are gathered by one person, and the person takes the form to the district office. Yes. So basically that's it. So aside the issue with the payment and then the submission of forms, is the issue of promises. So we sometimes they'll call us, we'll gather, and then there'll be promises that there'll be employment. Then we'll meet to come and form queues, very long queues, with a lot of people. We're submitting forms. We submitted forms like 3 times.
So how many times have you formed long queues? 3 times?
Oh, the long queues, there are plenty.
Plenty?
Plenty, because they'll tell you to bring your forms for validation that they are doing they started a program, a transition program to transition. So you have the options you could choose from. So we did it online. After doing it online, we had to submit manual forms. That form we submitted it like 2 times. Those things, I don't think they were really.
And nothing came out of it?
No, nothing came out.
No jobs, no transition?
No jobs, no transition. I don't know whether they are still working on it, but from the look of things, I don't think. Because even the minister did not mention anything. The mentionings he made on Nabco, it didn't include, it didn't say anything substantive. The only thing he mentioned was the U-Start, and we got the indication that the U-Start has come to replace the Nabco. So those forms that we submitted, we had to print it, and the form was bulky. We have to print it and submit. So basically, these are some of the things that can be improved upon. Yes.
Okay. And do you have any word for those trainees who are home right now, watching you, and also wishing they were in your position to be able to get a job? Do you have any advice for them? What should they do?
My advice would be that they shouldn't despair. We know that in this country, we know the government says the private sector is the engine of growth, but the private sector is full. It's very difficult to get jobs, and for the government sector there, it's worse. So the advice I can give them is they can find something doing on their own. They should try. My brother and myself, we have a small poultry farm. We grow layers, so they can venture into such opportunities. That's if they can get the capital, and then basically we're hoping for the best. And now with technology, you can learn a lot of new skills and better yourself for upcoming opportunities. So basically, that would be my advice for them.
And they should keep looking for jobs?
Yeah, for the jobs, yes. We all keep looking for jobs. But sometimes, I know when you apply, especially with the government jobs, for me, I don't try applying for government jobs because I know for these jobs you have to be connected, but they can still try. They can still try. I remember applying for a job during this Nabco time. Now, my bosses urged me to apply for the civil service job. I applied. I went for the interview. I wrote the exams. I went for the interview, and then we went there, and then they'll tell you that this year the protocol list was plain. The protocol list was plain. So
were you told officially or unofficially?
Officially. We were just going there to see how far.
And those were the sentiments being shared?
Those were the sentiments. Even with some of the directors, you speak to them, we tell them that my boss will tell them, oh, Ishmael has written the exam, so Ishmael is here, you have to do something. And he said, oh, now it's who you know. Now it's who you know. Those are the top. Those are the top.
And you don't know anybody?
Oh. The people I know are those telling me that it's who you know. So basically, I know it's very difficult to get jobs in government. So, but if it doesn't cost anything, now most of the applications are online. With the government jobs, one thing I don't like is you have to be paying. You have to be paying to apply. If immigration, you have to You have to pay.
Buy forms.
You have to buy forms. Even with some, when you're going to write the exams, you have to pay before you have access to the exams. So these are some of the challenges they'll meet. But they should keep trying. So hopefully, Ghana, hopefully.
There's no hope. you can't even say hopefully. But anyway, there's some hope. And
yes,
if you found your way out after all the Nabco period, others can also find their way out. Thank you very much, Ishmael Batoma. This is the Lowdown. You can watch us every Monday on Ghana Web TV, on GhanaWeb.com, and all of Ghana Web's digital platforms. My name is Nii Akwei Ismail Akwei. Be safe.